The FBI knew months before that letter was issued, right before the 2020 election, that the laptop was real and that a multitude of financial crimes had been committed by the Biden family. So what we found throughout our investigation, and it's in my book, All the President's Money, is that the FBI, anytime we would find something out or we would have a high-profile deposition, they would collude with the liberal left-wing media and drop a story right at the moment. They don't produce or manufacture a good or service. They don't do anything other than sell access to Joe. And it wasn't like they were selling access to big pharmaceutical companies or some type of special interest. They were selling access to people in foreign countries, and my book goes into detail, names of all the scoundrels who wired to Biden's money. They were all in trouble. In fact, just about every one of them either have been in prison, are currently in prison, are under investigation and could go to prison, or on the run from being sent to prison. I mean, these are the worst people in the world that needed prosecutors fired. They needed banks to be able to allow them to launder money from their country into the United States bank so their country wouldn't seize their assets. These are the worst people in the world. Then why didn't he do anything about the fact that the Bidens took $8 million from China? It wasn't from a Chinese company. I write about that in the book. It was from China. Tony Bobulinski testified in front of the American people and said it wasn't a legitimate business deal. It was a payment or a bribe from China. Christopher Wray knew this. He did nothing about it. And you've seen nothing but pro-China, China first, America last policies in this whole Biden administration.
So sum up their legacy. If you had to sum up the Biden legacy, what would it be?
He's going to be known as the most corrupt president in the history of America. His family had no business, no jobs. They didn't have a real job. They didn't have any business. And they took in all this money. They had all these investigations from our federal government going on, and they were never charged. In one instance, Hunter Biden had two partners on a scheme where they defrauded a Native American pension fund, a tribal pension fund. There were three of these guys: Jason Galanis, Devin Archer, and Hunter Biden. Jason Galanis has been in prison for a decade over this. Devin Archer's about to go to prison, and Hunter Biden was never even questioned. So how can you have three equal partners on a scam, and the other two go to prison, and one gets off scot-free? That's the definition of the Biden family. Joe has always played the plausible deniability card. But in every instance where the Bidens received a huge sum of money, $1 million plus wire, days before, Joe just miraculously either had dinner with them or did a conference call with them or played golf with them. And throughout the whole 2020 campaign, when this laptop was revealed and some of this information was in there, Joe said he never met any of these people. It was Russian disinformation. So Joe Biden's the most dishonest president. He's the least transparent president. And I would argue he's the most corrupt president in our nation's history.
Finally, Congressman, remind us how people can buy your book and support what you're doing.
Well, All the President's Money is at bookstores everywhere. It's on Amazon. It's on BarnesandNoble.com, Target.com, Walmart.com. You go in there and get it. It's a forensic accounting of every shady transaction that the Biden family took over a 10-plus year period. It tells who was sending the money, why they were sending the money, how the money was laundered through different LLCs, and it lists the LLCs in there, and then how it would end up in 10 different Biden family's bank accounts through incremental payments. It really is a forensic accounting of everything. And it talks about the weaponized media. It talks about the weaponized government and all the obstacles we faced as a committee in trying to investigate this information. I think people will enjoy the book.